Hello, welcome to the June 2013 edition of CGov's The Parish Line. We cover the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we will look at major new events coming to Burton Coliseum, check in with the RSVP volunteers, and hear from a former recipient of a parish housing scholarship. First up on the Parish Line, the Calcasieu Parish GIS Department has an improved online mapping application, along with 4 new tutorials. Here's Jessica Williamson.
The Geographic Information Systems portion of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury website draws nearly 10,000 hits a day. The popularity of the mapping application prompted the GIS department to enhance the design and usability.
We've had an application to the public for about 4 years, and it was a good application, but as the years have passed, it's become somewhat antique, and not in the data that it used, but in the processes that it used. It was slow. And one of the key things that we found with this new one is that the speed. And if you use it, you will notice the redraw speed. Real estate agents use it a lot. Bank managers want to know it a lot. Anybody who is concerned about, what's entailed on a piece of property. What zone is it? What flood zone is it? Who owns it? How big the parcels are and that type of thing.
The new application is faster, more user-friendly, and also allows the GIS department to incorporate more data.
Well, we have some map tips involved where in certain layers you can hover over an item and a little window will pop up and tell you something about whether it's a parcel, whether it's a elevation for a BFE zone. Zoning is another one. One of the new things we have is we also have it tied to the Louisiana Tax Commission 2012 tax data. So you can find valuations of property, you can see what taxing districts a particular property is and what the millage for that district was.
Other new features include being able to change the opacity of a layer and saving a map to your computer. The aerial photography is high quality and is updated every 2 years. While the application has improved, the mainstays of the program have remained.
Well, you have several different ways. You can search, you have a search by address, by owner's name, by assessment number, subdivision, section, township, and range. Any of those values can be put in there and the system will search for all items within that area, or whether it's a sub or whether it's a section.
You can manually find information by clicking and dragging and zooming into the map, but the search options are still there. A large amount of information can be found, including flood zone information.
Well, the main layer to me is the tax layer, which comes from the tax assessor. We have flood zone layers, which tells you the FEMA flood zones. We have land use layers. We have parks, police jury districts. Those are the main ones that are on there. Generally, those are the ones that are used most by the public.
For users who are challenged by the new mapping application, 4 tutorials have been developed to help. For the Parish Line, I'm Jessica Williamson.
The mapping application requires Microsoft Silverlight, a free download that operates on a Mac or a PC. As the summer heats up, our awareness of hurricane season intensifies. Margaret Higgins looks at an organization that helps residents before and after the storm.
Disasters can occur at any time, leaving an impact on the area affected. To help assist the residents of Calcasieu Parish in the event of a disaster is an organization known as COED. Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness Operations Manager Norman Bordeaux explains.
COED is an acronym for Community Organizations Active in Disasters. And what that really means is that after a disaster, there are many different types of organizations, public and private, in the parish that provide services to the citizens that may have an extra need after a large-scale disaster such as a hurricane that we've experienced in the past. So the organization is a bit different than, say, a VOAD, volunteer organizations active in disasters, whereas that is primarily more of your public / quasi-private like Red Cross. Salvation Army, organizations of that nature. So it's really much more unique, the COED. So it was after Hurricane Rita, there was certainly a very large need for a vast variety of services for our citizens. There are a number of parish departments that are represented within the COED. There is the Medical Reserve Corps, the Housing Department, and of course, Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness.
Bordeaux informs us what role their office plays as a member of COED.
Through the coordination of the COED and the advice from OEP, we would help them organize themselves, give them some additional direction on how to work together, provide the critical services, and to help identify some of those critical needs after a major disaster. So a lot of it kind of transitioned from just necessarily advisory to providing more additional guidance and even offering some training. These organizations and OEP needed to have the opportunity to be able to gather and share information fairly quickly. And it was determined that to best do that, the recommendation from our office was that the COED provide a liaison in the EOC. Because of the vast number of services that could be provided by all these myriad of agencies, it wasn't possible for us to know all of their capabilities at that time, and their capabilities change fairly quickly depending upon their funding sources. So what we had moved towards was some training for National Incident Management System. So we did some NIMS training for them to help them understand the organizational structure in the Emergency Operations Center, how their role would fit in as a COED to be able to answer questions that we have. So we get a lot of calls come into the EOC, into our office, people saying, oh, I need mental health, I need this type of service, I need physical therapy, I need all types of different things. And it was certainly easier to take those types of requests that sometimes were difficult to fulfill when we didn't have the liaison and the COED in place. Those types of things are now just slid over to that individual to assign that particular task to the appropriate agency or agencies that can assist the citizen or group of citizens.
Calcasieu Medical Reserve Corps recently hosted a training for COED. Medical Reserve Corps Coordinator Angela Jewett tells us more.
This year we decided to make it a real-life training. So all the members that could come came from our COED and actively participated in the drill as being evacuees, helping us set up the drill, and then just participating with us, and we kind of explained this is how we would do it, you know, if there was a real-time evacuation.
For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
The Calcasieu Medical Reserve Corps can give you more information on COED at 656-0840. The RSVP program, which is coordinated through our Human Services Department, is for residents 55 years and up who are interested in being active in our community. Molly Morgan updates us on the volunteer group.
Retired Senior Volunteer Program, otherwise known as RSVP, connects volunteers with opportunities where they can make a difference. There are various ways in which a volunteer can help. One group meets monthly. RSVP Director Lisa Addison tells us more.
This is our crochet and knitting group, and they meet once a month, and they come in and socialize and have a good time for a few hours, but more importantly, they look at it as a service project where they really are making a difference. At the end of the year, we take whatever they have worked on that year, lap robes, caps, bibs and different things, and we donate them to area hospitals, visitor centers, the Seaman Center, and that way they can really feel like they have changed somebody's life and really made a difference with what they're doing.
Using a fun technique, volunteers are taught how to make an interesting item for the homeless.
They use the crocheting technique, but how to make mats for the homeless out of plastic bags. These mats, it takes about 1,000 bags to make one mat, and as some people may not realize, we do have a homeless population in our area, and they can take these mats and actually have something to sleep on. It's quite durable. Even if it gets wet, they can just roll it up, and it has a little strap to carry it with, and they can just use it over and over again. And we could use as many bags as we could get, actually. And also, if anyone out there would like to join RSVP or the crochet group, they could give me a call at the Police Jury Human Services and ask for Lisa at 721-4020. And it takes about 50 to 75 hours to make each mat as well. It's very labor intensive.
As an RSVP volunteer, Acuff was excited to take on this project.
There was a lady here that showed us about the mats, making the mats for the homeless. And it just struck a chord with me. And I started doing the crochet in the mats and, you know, learning how to do that. I ran into some snares, needless to say, but then I called Lisa, and Lisa talked to the woman, and while she's very busy and she couldn't come to me or me go to her, she suggested I look it up online, which I did, and that's been helpful. Now it is quite a chore. First of all, you have to get the bags ready, and I found out that the thicker the bags, you better stay away from the thicker bags when you're using the grocery bags, because the thicker bags you'll get out of whack.
If you would like to donate bags or even learn how to crochet the mats, contact Lisa Addison at 721-4020. For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
RSVP currently has 366 volunteers. The oldest is 100 and still active. This is the Parish Line, a production of CGov, the Calcasieu Parish Government Channel. Southwest Louisiana is on a roll in securing Louisiana High School state championship events. Much of the activity is centered at Burton Coliseum, which recently was selected by the LHSAA to host the Boys and Girls State High School Basketball Championships for the next 2 years. That announcement earlier this month capped off a string of successful events for the facility.
Yeah, the Burton Coliseum complex has been something that we've been working hard with McNeese in a partnership towards getting more activity here in the building and in the complex in general. First, we started out with working with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and a lot of other local community leaders to get the state high school rodeo tournaments here. That's been so much of a good relationship that we've developed with them, that they're going to be here another 5 years with us, so that's really good. And then we've had just good luck fortunes, like the American Idol Josh Ledette situation. That sort of was just a happenstance because of him being here in this area, and we were able to accommodate. But on the whole, there's just a lot of growth and a lot of opportunity for this complex, and we're looking forward to continuing that growth.
The Josh Ledette American Idol concert last May came as the first phase of a series of improvements to the complex was being completed. That gave more than 8,000 concertgoers a chance to see the new look for the facility. More work is ongoing.
We're actually involved in capital improvements as well. That's something that's an ongoing process here. We've finished one phase of one capital project where, as many have probably noticed, we've done new restrooms, new concessions, new floors, things like that, aesthetic looks. The next bid that we're about to enter into is a project that would reskin the exterior part of this building, totally give it a brand new look and make it more updated. Once that's done, it's going to look like a brand new facility, and I think it's something that everybody here in the community is going to be very proud of when that is finished.
Calcasieu Parish voters approved the renewal of a property tax in April to fund maintenance at Burton and other facilities. The police jury is committed to making that an investment that pays off in economic activity from events like the LHSAA championships.
One of the biggest things that the police jury made a commitment to with the renewal tax for Burton was that we would try to bring more events more economic impact to the area through things that take place here at Burton. And that's been one of our biggest goals that we've tried for from day one. And just recently, when we received word of getting the bid for the high school boys and girls basketball state championships, that's going to be something huge for us. And it's hopefully something we're translating to the community, saying this is just one of many things that we hope to make good on in the promise that we made to you when you renewed this tax. It's an estimated crowd attendance for the girls of about 40,000 in 1 week over the course of 4 or 5 days. For the boys, it's estimated crowd attendance is about 70,000 over 4 to 5 days. Those are 40 and 70,000 people coming into this area that have never been here maybe before, or that weren't planning on doing so. So it's going to be, that equates to hotel nights, that equates to restaurants, and I would suspect that you're looking in the millions for economic impact, and that's hopefully what we're going to draw when we have our first go-round in March.
The high school and junior high state rodeo championships were just completed at Burton, and the contracts for the events have been extended for another 5 years, thanks in part to the community efforts in the area to make the championships memorable for visitors. That support will be needed with the basketball tournaments as well.
This championship series that we're about to get in March is a monster. It's huge. It takes a big community to make it happen. And obviously what we're going to be doing in the next several weeks is reaching out to the community, to our community leaders, our business partners, asking for their help, not necessarily in monetary value, it's more in volunteerism. There is a lot of things that take place in the logistics of these championships, and we need all the hands we can get. So it's going to take a community to make this a success, but we've seen in the past with Sulphur Parks and Recreations and other events how a lot of organizations and businesses, community have come together. And that's what we're expecting here for the March, and something we're really ambitious on achieving.
Southwest Louisiana also received good news earlier this month when Sulphur was awarded the opportunity to host all 7 classes of the high school baseball state championship for the next 2 years. Several Parish graduates received scholarships to continue their education from the police jury's housing department recently. Here's CGov's J.P. Booth.
At their June 6th meeting, the police jury awarded scholarships to 3 recent high school graduates. Amanda Hartley with the Human Services Department tells us how this program came to be and how its past recipients are doing.
The Housing Educational Scholarship was implemented a few years back in order to encourage and help our participants participating on the Housing Choice Voucher Program further their education. If they're receiving a subsidy through Calcasieu Parish Housing Department, they are eligible. We do send out the notices every March, and we only award it once a year. The scholarship is $4,000, and either heads of households that's interested in furthering their education or high school graduating seniors can apply.
Being I was awarded in 2008, it was very fast. When I first graduated from high school, I was like, okay, I'll just get a job. But then my mom got in contact with Miss Amanda. Miss Amanda got in contact with me. And right out of high school, I applied for this scholarship. Then within the next month, I'm being awarded the scholarship, enrolling in Suella. And once I got there, I found out, okay, well, I still needed more money. So I was eligible for financial aid. Ms. Amanda also helped with that process. She's a jack of all trades. She wears multiple hats. And I mean, with being eligible for financial aid, I would still need a little bit more. And that's where the scholarship fell right into place. It covered everything from parking fees to books, just that little extra I needed.
There are guidelines, there aren't any restrictions. You have to meet a minimum grade point average, which is 2.5, because we know that there are students, good students, that want to pursue a college education, but they may not be that 3.0, 3.5, or 4.0 student. So we wanted to make it where you or I can be able to become eligible for it. And there's an essay assignment. So the requirements are not great. I believe that we've made it friendly to both heads of household and graduating seniors.
Out of all the people that applied, it was a blessing to be chosen for the scholarship. Out of all the recipients that applied, it was just amazing that my essay, my story that I wrote, my application that I filled out was chosen by Miss Amanda, Mr. Polite, and the rest of the police jury committee. And for them to be able to help me out in my time of need was amazing. I mean, some people, you know, they take $1,000 for granted, but in my situation, it really helped out a lot.
The scholarship is funded through private donations. It's not by any taxpayer money. Again, in the beginning of our conversation, I let you know that TriStar management has been a big hand in able for us to go forward with our educational scholarship. So we are appreciative of that. If there's anybody else that would like to provide funding to the housing scholarship or get more information, they can call the office and we can let them know what needs to be done to do that.
First, when I first got the scholarship, I was like, okay, I'm going to go head on. Everybody's going into P-Tech. I'm going to go into P-Tech. I'm going to go to the plant, make big money. But did a semester of P-Tech, realized my heart was not in it. It was a wrong move for me. So next semester, talking to my enrollment advisor, Miss Becky at Sewella, and you know, she broke things down to me, so decided to go into computer programming. Next semester, loved it, stayed in it, ended up doing a double major. So now I have computer programming and computer networking, and I currently have a job now working for Memorial Hospital. And I'm still at Sewella taking extra classes to go towards a bachelor's degree now. So it's just been an amazing journey so far.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
The scholarship is awarded once a year, and the application can be picked up at the Human Services Department at the Alan P. August Center at 2001 Moling Street. That's it for the Parish Line for this month. Thanks for being with us. More details on all these stories are available on our website, cppj.net.